All right, Lanissa, thanks for joining me for today's recording. I really appreciate it. What's the elevator pitch on who you are and what you do?
I mean, the very, very short story is I help practices build their physician referral network. So, any practice that wants more physician referrals, I can teach them how to do that, coach them through that, train their teams to help them get more patients in the door through physician referrals. So, that's the short story. I got here because I've done that for most of my life and everything from boots on the ground physician liaison to executive and now coach. And so that's how I got here and that's what we do.
It's cool. I think the thing I like most about what you do is you did it for a long time. Like you're kind of not new to this work and have like a really proven track record of not just helping other people build it, but the fact that you built it yourself over a long period of time. And I think that gives you a lot of credibility. Why would you say building a referral network for practice is essential, or is it essential? Like what would you say to that?
Well, obviously, I'm biased, right? Look at the data over the last several years from friends like MVP. Their data shows consistently over the last several years that the number one patient converter and patient lead source is physician referrals for specialty healthcare practices. So, not only is that your top lead source and your top patient converter, the other thing is these are patients that come to you and they come to you pre-diagnosed, pre-counsel. Their doctor says, "Hey, I know Dr. Jones. I know Dr. Smith. They did my patient's surgery or they did my mom's surgery." And so these patients come excited to see you, already trusting you, ready to have care with you. And not only that, these are long-term relationships. It's not dependent upon algorithms. It's not dependent upon the latest technology. These are relationships that you can go and shake hands with people at any time and they can last for years and years and years if you just take the time to maintain those relationships. So, long term, consistent, steady referral patient acquisition system.
It's really well said. When you think of the hierarchy of leads that we're following up with the practice, at the very top in terms of quality would be those OD referrals. Just to kind of verify your point. I mean, I think that's the way we experience it as we follow up with practices leads. What are the biggest challenges to practices having a strong referral network? And kind of what pain points have you seen as you've tried to work with folks to do this?
Yeah, a couple big challenges is just getting started sometimes. If you haven't done this before, sometimes it feels like something new, which feels can feel overwhelming or scary. For the practices that are doing this or have tried or dipped their toe in the water, I think sometimes just being consistent. There's a lot of shiny objects that can attract our attention in an ambitious practice. And there's a lot of things pulling for our attention. And so staying consistent and consistent over time, I think is a really big challenge. But there's a simple fix to that, right? It's just scheduling that time to go visit referring offices and staying consistent with that. I mean, it's a simple fix, right? And so it's just something that has to be executed.
So that makes sense. It's a function of prioritizing it, making sure that it's important, blocking off the time. Are there other challenges related to building out a referral network, or is does it really boil down to, just kind of the bare bones fundamentals of executing like that?
So there's obviously lots of nuances to that, but really the practices that show up consistently over time do tend to be successful at this. Obviously, it helps if you have the right team, people that actually want to be out there, people that actually want to be building relationships, and cultural things are important as well in your practice. This is something that you really have to want to do and really believe in. And so those things, the belief and culture, and cultivating that in your team and in your practice and letting the team know, like, look, this is the way that we serve patients and the way that we serve patients better. Those things are all really important. And those things actually help bring about that consistency.
Mm, yeah, that's really good. What are the 2 to 3 most kind of key ingredients to establishing a strong, kind of program for referrals? Like, what are a handful of the kind of core benchmarks, metrics, ingredients, whatever you want to call it? What would you say those things are for a practice?
Yeah, if I could pick the top 3 to 5, I would say starting out with the cultural things we talked about. As a practice, your practice leadership really has to believe that this is a good opportunity for the practice and something that they want to invest the time and resources in. And then make it simple. Make it simple for referring doctors. A lot of times we think that we want to make it simple for our practice, and that sounds great in theory. But then there's too many roadblocks for the referring doctor to actually send patients to you, and they just won't send you. They're going to send to your competitor down the street because that's easier for them. So make it simple for the referring doctor. So whatever that process looks like in your practice, review that process and then just make it simple when you do that. So, culture, simplicity, having the right people on the team, the people that actually are really excited about this, the people that actually really want to go out and talk to referring doctors, and the people that are willing to then be consistent over time with that and protect that time to make sure that this happens and this can be successful. And then those are the first kind of three or four internally. Externally, having messaging that's about the referring doctor, not about your practice. Our instinct is we want to go in and we want to spew all these features and benefits and features and benefits and features and benefits. We want to say we have all these services, we have all this technology, and then you start to see referring doctors and their staff, their eyes glaze over. And so what we really want to talk to them about is this is what this means for your patient. This is what this means for your practice. This is how we simplify the process so that we can work with you better, work with your patients better. This is the results your patients are going to receive. So making that messaging about them instead of about you as well. It's also really important.
Yeah, that's so good, and probably not like you said. It's not that intuitive. We usually lead, usually lead wanting to talk about ourselves,
Mhm.
versus others. So yeah, it's not that intuitive. Well, this is great, Lanissa. Thanks so much for joining today. Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest place to find me is at my website, lanissabrantley.com. And you can join our newsletter from there. You can contact us from there. You can find out about us, more information. So it's the easiest way to find us.
Thanks so much for joining today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.